is happening, everybody? My name is Beth and welcome back to Every Day is Spooktober. Sorry, I got a little excited there. We are talking about I Know What You Did Last Summer, or if you want to abbreviate this, IKYDLS, from 1997. Obviously, as you guys know, I've been keeping you updated. This has been a long time coming, watching this movie, because it's talked about so much. It's a classic slasher film, and you know, it's high school drama. Like, those of us in the horror community, I'm sure we all love that kind of stuff. And you know, it's a shame that I haven't seen this film and it's taken me 24 years to watch it, because I mean, like, yeah, I'm a 90s baby as well, so like things like this is nostalgic to me, you know what I mean? So yeah, I watched I Know What You Did Last Summer, kind of knew bits and bobs about it. It's talked about so much. It's hyped up so much. I was so intrigued. So I bought it on DVD. I haven't got the second one and I haven't seen the second one. Although I think the title of it is really cringy. I Still Know What You Did Last Summer. Really funny, weird, cringy. But that's kind of what you're getting with these films. So yeah, I probably will visit the second one at some point, but I'm in no rush. So yeah, let's just sit down and talk about this movie. So as I was saying before, you know, I immediately put this DVD on, started watching it, and immediately I was like, oh my god, this is so like nostalgic, this is such 90s, like I love this vibe. Because I mean, like, we're just never gonna get that setting in a movie anymore. Like, even if filmmakers recreate the way things were and style and cars and, you know, architecture in the 90s, it's never going to be as good as seeing it for real, like, you know, through a lens that was made in the 90s. So it was so nice to see that and see the setting. Obviously, like I said, I was aware of this film. I knew it was a slasher. It was kind of like a whodunit. I did hear a few things as well, people being like Scream is so much worse than this. And I kept hearing that. And I mean, for me anyway, I do adore the original Screams. If you've been keeping up with my videos, you would also know I'm not a fan of the new, you know, 21st century girl, like, Scream. I'm not a fan of the new Scream films that have been coming out. I'm a really big fan of specifically the first, and also the fourth one I absolutely adore. So yeah, Scream is a lot to live up to, in my opinion. It's one of the best horror series franchises. I think that's out there in terms of slasher, and I completely disagree with the statement of people saying that I Know What You Did Last Summer is better, because it's not. Unfortunately, it's not. Don't get me wrong, you have a pretty big cast with some good big names in it. It felt like we were watching like part of a Scooby-Doo reunion as well, because obviously we have Sarah Michelle Gellar, who performed very well in this, I would admit. I thought she did really well in this role, and it was fun to see her so young, and like being in a bit of a more serious, like, you know, just fun, and the popular girl. Like, I think she's always kind of good at that popular girl role, but I really enjoyed watching her at a younger age. It was really fun. And then obviously we have Freddie Prinze Jr., who obviously is our Fred, and it was weird to see them two in a movie, and I was going into the film with the impression that they were a couple, but obviously they were coupled up with different people, just part of the same friendship group. So I thought that was really fun, having them in this film alongside some other like pretty big names as well. You know, I thought the acting was really good. I think every character, because it only focuses on 4 people, I think every character, even though there was this big plot of obviously them killing a guy and then obviously throwing his body in the ocean, hit this big plot point, and the film is obviously revolving around someone knows that, you know, what they've done, and like they're like sending them threats. You know, I think even though we have that, I think every character has a good kind of persona, enough info, enough backstory about them as to who they are. Although I know we don't see Ray as much in this, which is a shame. Like, kind of throughout the film, he's kind of left out a little bit of it, which kind of brings into the fact of like the whodunit. Like, you kind of suspect at one point that it's him that's sending these guys threats and is like messing around with them. But yeah, it was it didn't give the same effect as Scream. Like, with the whole whodunit, like, it wasn't the same vibe, because a lot of the time, because we don't meet so many characters, it doesn't really have the same effect of like, oh, it could be them, it could be them. There was my suspicions of it being somebody within the group for sure, because it just, I don't know, it seemed too easy for it to be, oh, it was my friend's neighbour, or like, you know what I mean, like, I felt like it could have been someone within the group, however it wasn't. I found the film super fun, easy to follow, easy to watch. There was some pretty solid jump scares in this, and I mean, I'm not really the one to get, you know, to jump when there's a jump scare. I'm not really someone that falls for it that easily, just because, I don't know, I guess I'm just used to it now. Like, I don't really get scared that easily. So there was a few, and I was just in my room, like, on my own, like normal vibes, and it got me a few times, and, you know, I give it applause, because fair enough. I don't particularly like jump scares that much, but there were some kind of fun ones that afterwards you kind of like giggle to yourself and you're like, that was good. So I agree, there was some brilliant jump scares in there that I think were just executed well. Like, they weren't cringy, it wasn't over the top, the film wasn't full of them, and you didn't see them coming, and I think that's why they were so solid, because they were very just out of the blue, in your face. Something that did, in my opinion, let this film down is, in the UK, this film was rated an 18, and I was expecting like the gore and the violence that we have from Scream, because it's pretty full on, like the gore and the, you know, just the violence and the action and everything that goes on. And I was kind of expecting something similar, since people were comparing the two, but like the gore and the death scenes were just like not, like we didn't even see half of them get killed. Like we see like Sarah Michelle Gellar, like we see her get captured, but we don't actually see her get killed, and then we obviously find her body. But it's like, Scream isn't like that. Like, Scream shows you the brutality of the kills and the gore and the messiness that it causes. Whereas this one it felt like they were holding back. And I don't know if that was like, I mean, I'm quite confused, because obviously 18 is the highest that you can go for it to be released out into the public. So I'm quite confused as to why it was rated so high, yet didn't really hit the mark of it being highly inappropriate. Like, I would show that film to, like, I don't know, like a 12-year-old, 13-year-old. I mean, maybe not that, but you know what I mean. Like, it just wasn't as heavy as I was expecting it to be with the rating. But I mean, I also understand that back then things were more like, they rated things higher than they would now, kind of thing. So I completely understand that. But that was a shame. I really wanted to see some fun slasher deaths and some cool gore, and I just didn't really get it, which was a shame. But I mean, I wanted to see the characters get their hands dirty. Like, I wanted them to be covered in blood like Sydney does. Like, I wanted them to fight like Sydney does, but it didn't give off the same it didn't give off the same sort of powerful main character vibes at all. But I just think it was very overhyped. Like, I don't really know what's been going on social media, but people have been raving about this film recently, and it's been popping up a lot on people's channels, I've noticed, and just in the horror community, and people have been going nuts. And I mean, maybe I'm just missing something, but like, it was an okay film. Maybe the overhypeness of it has just completely ruined it, but it's a shame, because it wasn't as good as I thought it was going to be. Don't get me wrong, I enjoyed it. You know, I was interested, I wanted to know what was happening next. It was a bit of a mystery going on, but it wasn't like how Scream makes you feel when the reveal happens for the first time and you don't know who it is and you're wrong and you're pinpointing it on everyone. Like, I don't know, like, I think there was just something missing with this film, and it was trying too hard to be like a high school thriller like flick, like a whodunit flick, more than like focusing on the actual plot of the story, which is a shame, like I said, because like I said, I had high hopes, but it was still fun, it was still interesting. I understand the references now with like when people dress up as Halloween and they've got like the hook, and they're like dressed in like a kind of sailor uniform. Like, I understand that costume now, because I've definitely seen that before, people dress up. as like the killer, and I've been like, I don't understand what that's from, and I can see where it's come from now. It is an iconic look and an iconic costume, and I mean, maybe I'll go for his Halloween, who knows. But yeah, like there was definitely iconic moments, and there's gonna be nostalgic moments within this one. Like, I think the acting was fine. I think the journey we went on with the characters was interesting and fun. It's a shame that pretty much all the characters got killed off, because I know now the second one, I know it's not as good from what I've heard, and the second one only obviously features Julie now. I don't know about anyone else. I haven't actually read up on it, so you guys can let me know in the comments about that. But yeah, I mean, I don't know what to expect for the second one, but I'm assuming a similar vibe. I'm definitely going to visit it, like I said. I think this is very similar to like the past couple of reviews I've done, kind of like cabin fever movies where they're fun to check on. I think this one, I Know What You Did Last Summer, wasn't really frightening in any way, so this is more of an enjoyable watch. Like, I would comfortably put this on and like fall asleep to it, whereas like cabin fever, I wouldn't do that, because this one is just a bit more tame in like the horror aspect. But it was still a cool, fun, chill summer film, and I will revisit it next summer 100%. I rated this film a 5 out of 10. Like I said, I think it's pretty mid. I don't understand or see the hype, but if anyone wants to explain to me in the comments below, then go for it, because I just want to hear people's opinions. But yeah, that is my review of I Know What You Did Last Summer. I really hope you guys enjoyed this review, and I've tried to get out as quick as possible, as we are slowly approaching the 7th of July, which means Insidious 5 will be watching on Friday. It's currently Wednesday that I'm filming this, so I am so excited. Insidious 5 will be the next review on this channel. This is like the most long anticipated wait for a movie like I've ever had to do. We'll go deep dive into Insidious after I've watched the 5th one, and we'll have a chit chat about all that. But I am so excited. Friday morning, as soon as it's released, I am going to watch it, and I cannot freaking wait. Stay tuned for that video, because it's going to be a good one, and we can talk all things Insidious. I'm so excited. So if you guys are excited as well, let me know in the comments. When are you watching it? Who are you watching it with? Let me know. And yeah, we'll have a good little old chit chat about Insidious 5, The Red Door. And I will see you on my next review.